Welcome to a self-published author's diary. I am Elodie Novodatsky. I write about first times, second chances, things that scare the crap out of me, and things that make me laugh out loud. I'll be speaking with you and sharing my adventures in self-publishing, the behind the scenes of writing, and the business side of it. And before we get started today, a small message from our sponsor, Anchor. Thanks for listening. Hello, it is February 14th, 2022, as I'm recording this on Monday, on Valentine's Day. And as I write romance, I had a few thoughts about what I should or could post online. I actually posted on TikTok something about naming my character, and yeah, I wanted to post, and I might do that tomorrow, just a duet on TikTok with a video that my husband actually created months ago, where he is dancing to, I believe, the Backstreet Boys to help me raise the number of pre-orders for The Leftover Bride. And he took my phone and he just did it, and it was amazing. And because I know he's listening to me, I just want to say again, thank you so much, Alex, for doing that, because I knew it was sweet the day he did it, but to be 100% transparent, it's also when you're in the midst of promoting and you're in the midst of marketing and you're in the midst of everything, I think you sometimes do not realize how sweet something is. And I've been, week after week, I've been reminded of this video, or I see it, or I look at it actually when I want to smile, because it's an amazing, cute, adorable, everything video of him dancing, like having fun on camera. And yeah, so thank you. You know, it just reminds me on Valentine's Day to cherish those little and big moments and the little and big gestures that happen every day. Writing romance and writing happily ever after, I try to infuse those moments of love and support and laughter in my books. And when it comes to writing, and here that's going to be a little bit of a 180, I did not write as much as I wanted to last week. I did use the Alpha Smart Neo 2, which helped me actually write about almost 4,000 words in one day. But then the rest of the week, I did not write as much as I wanted to. So one day I was very productive. The rest was just very busy with a lot of different things. And I want to believe that I also needed that time to, come up with a few scenes in my mind about what's going to happen next, but I need to sit down and write the words. I need to put my butt in the chair and write and type those words. And it hasn't been easy in the past week to find the time to do it. What I'm having an issue with is that I think there's this expression that you cannot see the forest for the trees because you're too focused on the small parts of it that you do not realize that there's actually a much larger problem. Well, for me right now, I feel that I'm so busy on the forest that I do not see the trees, which in my case, I need to actually tackle it, taking care of the trees for the forest to thrive. That's the expression I'm going to go with. There's also, I was thinking about Finding Nemo and the keep swimming that Dora tells Nemo. This is not, and I know there are moments where you have to take a break and you have to rest and you have to refill the creative well. But there are different scenarios that can work for different writers. Not everybody needs to do the same thing. But for me right now, I'm not at the point where I'm not going through a burnout of writing. I'm not going through the depleted energy that I sometimes have when I finish a book, like right at the end, where I'm just writing, and I feel that it's just so much, and everybody in the house, is not being taken care of and everything. And I'm trying not to get to that point. I'm trying to balance everything that I need to balance. But by trying to do that, I am not taking the time that I want. And that's what I was talking about last week, how I wanted to start doing in the morning. I really wanted to start just by sitting down on my computer and writing. But for that, I also want to have the scenes that I want to write prepared, and I want to be able to revise as I go. And last week just seems that it flew by, and I can't remember exactly what I've done. And yes, I was on TikTok, true, but I didn't spend like that much time on it. I did make videos and everything, and now I'm reducing the actual amount of time that I'm posting. I'm posting once a day right now on TikTok, but it's not like I've spent time on over social media. So the time I used to spend on over social media right now is kind of switching a little bit to TikTok because I'm learning the platform and everything. I mean, I did try to do a bit more inside the house, but it's not like the house is spotless. And I'm also taking classes, IT classes, and that also I did actually pretty well on that last week. As I said, I wrote about 4,000 words. I revised every 2 days. I didn't revise as much as I wanted on those days, but I did revise. I wrote my newsletter. I wrote my newsletter in English. I wrote my newsletter in French. I listened and learned online. Oh, I did have, I think that's what also on, now I remember. On Thursday, I did have my oncology appointment, and that kind of took my morning off and then my day, because then I was also very tired. And then the Friday, during the afternoon, I was also very tired. So I had my oncologist appointment, and everything is good. Everything is actually, everything is great. They haven't found anything concerning with the physical exam. My blood tests are good. My results are good. So that is amazing. And this was such great news. I think that Thursday, though, when I came back, I did take the afternoon off. So I did do things a little bit, but not that much. Like, I was so nervous about the appointment, even though, I mean, I wasn't as nervous maybe as I used to be, because there was not a PET scan, so there was no scan. Not having a scan makes it a bit easier to not be as nervous, but it's still nerve-wracking when I go to the cancer center for a checkup. And I talked to him about what I would like to do in order to fundraise money for the University of Maryland Cancer Center, because they're in the midst of redoing the entire cancer center. Like, there's going to be so much more available for patients. There are programs for patients. There are ways to help nurses. There are as well ways to help his research. That, I mean, there is so much that I would like to be able to do. And I've been brainstorming about what I could do for raising money for them, and by using maybe, my writing for it, maybe by writing an exclusive short story if somebody bids on it, or finding authors to maybe write an anthology of short stories. And it's a lot. I mean, I know it's a lot of work, and I've just talked about how I feel like I didn't have the time this week. But now that I remember, some of it was due to the fact that I took a bit of time to actually recharge. I should probably be gentle with myself today as I'm recording this, instead of focusing on the things that I didn't do, and maybe I should focus on all the things that I did do. And I gained a lot of TikTok followers. I'm making connection with readers. Like, I went from, I think a week and a half ago, I had like 100. Now I have 361, I think. And I'm having fun with it, which is always nice. And I'm crossing my fingers that by making those connections, maybe I also will find readers who might be interested in my books. And I find it easier to be on camera. It's very strange, and I don't know why, but it's something that, as I said, I'm having fun with, and I'm still learning how to use, and it's a fun way to also see what other authors are doing, and it's also a fun way to get books recommendations. Also for my pen name, because my pen name, as I said, will be spicier than what I currently write, even though the last book and the book I'm currently working on are pretty steamy. The pen name will be much spicier and steamier than that. So it's interesting to also see right now what readers are looking for, and also to see what readers love in any romance books, because those are moments that I love myself as a romance reader. And it's nice to see that, some of the sentences that we sometimes see repeated in many books. And sometimes I'm worried about, oh, well, maybe I should try to be more original about certain things. But this is maybe one of the things that romance readers like myself just enjoy having in the books. So that's something that I am going to keep in mind as well when I'm drafting both books, both Sweets for Love and the one I will draft under my pen name. I did all of this, and I did more research for my book. Plato the dog is snoring next to me. I don't know if you can hear him, but he's being pretty loud. I'm going to be gentle with myself when it comes to the last 2 days of last week, Thursday and Friday, and then Saturday we were pretty busy, and Sunday we were pretty busy, and for the best reasons. And I enjoyed all those moments. So I'm going to just take a deep breath, and I'm going to keep swimming. And in this case, keep writing. I am ahead of schedule compared to what I thought I was going to be. So yeah, this is what I'm going to be doing. I am going to write down the goals for the week. I am going to go back to my planning, the one that I did, the things that I'm doing every week to try to help my royalties. And I think one of the reasons why it has been so difficult a little bit last week is because I added Sweets for Love on Goodreads, and then last Friday I sent an email to my newsletter, which was not, the title was not, hey, I added my books to Goodreads. I'm trying to be more sending emails following the philosophy that I'm talking to a friend in a way. So I'm talking to a reader, yes, and I'm talking about my books and I'm talking about my writing, but I'm definitely not in the just selling mode. Not that just selling is bad either. It's just I'm really trying to create a connection with my newsletter subscribers. I love hearing from them when they reply to my emails. It's just a nice way to connect with people, I find. But this time around, I think the way that I word it, and sometimes my emails are a bit on the longer side, which might be a problem, and I might need to work on that. But I sent an email, and towards the end, I've mentioned that Sweets for Love was added on Goodreads, and then I added as a PS, at the end of the email, hey, have you already added Sweets for Love on Goodreads? And links, I'm good at putting links in my newsletters. And no one had added it. And I had also posted it on Facebook. I posted it on my readers group, which has more than 400 people in there. And my Facebook page has thousands of likes. And no one added it. And I know the reason why. I mean, I know that A, people are busy. B, they may not see it. C, people may scan the emails they're receiving, which is, again, totally fine. And on social media, the algorithm may have worked against me. And again, the people who are online may not have seen that the book was already added to Goodreads. In addition, it was not yet linked, and it's not yet linked to the Leftover Bride, because I need to add a Goodreads librarian to actually add the title and everything else. But I thought that I would get at least one ad, and I didn't go around and I didn't, send an email to my friends or anything like this. I just really mentioned it in my newsletter, and I added it on my Facebook author page and on my Facebook readers group. I did not do anything else. It felt though that after 72 hours and I was still the only one who had edited, it was kind of like a punch in the stomach a little bit. And no matter how much I rationalize it, and no matter how much I know that there are myriad of reasons why nobody had edited. And that's not that nobody is looking forward to reading my book. I know that's not it. But still, it was hard. And so what I did, and I hesitated before posting that video on TikTok, but it was just like a video of me in front of the computer. And this was this text on top of the video that was saying, oh, what happens when you're adding your book to Goodreads? And it's one of those music that has, everything seems to be fine at the beginning. And then at the end, it says emotional damage. And it was a very short video, and it got a lot of views on TikTok, much more than any of my other videos. I think it got 1,400 views on TikTok, and and a lot of people. And I was blown away by the response, because I got at least 10 people adding my book on Goodreads after that video. And it may not seem like a lot, but let me remind you that I sent an email to more than 390 people and nobody had added it. And again, this is not a dig at my newsletter subscribers, because I really appreciate them. I appreciate their time. I appreciate the fact that they actually signed up. I appreciate that they're supportive. I appreciate that they buy my books. I appreciate that they read my books. I appreciate everything. That just letting me into their inbox is a privilege, and I recognize that, and I'm fully aware of that. It was funny that with that video, which basically described how I felt like a total failure, I got a lot of feedback out of it, and people seemed to also be looking forward to it. It was just something about that week, I think, that maybe also made it a bit harder to write, because when you're thinking, something you're doing and you're trying so hard and you're dotting your I and crossing your T's, and I think it's not crossing your T's and dotting your I's. I can't remember in which order that is. But when you're doing all of that and you feel that you're learning and you're trying to do so much better, and then you get not necessarily the result that you were expecting, well, it is hard. And I think that's at that moment for me that the keep swimming from Nemo, I was going to say Nero, but that's not at all the same, from Nemo, is an important reminder, to, yes, feel down a little bit and then just pick myself up and keep going, because I have plenty of stories to tell, and I am doing much better in terms of drafting, in terms of revising. Like my craft is so much better. It gets better with every book. And I think everything else related to selling the books is also getting much better for me. So I need to focus on that. It's just that sometimes you also need a few minutes to, again, be gentle with yourself. And I needed that at the moment. I still wrote, I still revised, I still did my work, I still sent my newsletter, I still did a survey in 2 languages. On top of it, I do my newsletter right now in English and French. And so it takes work. And then I did all my other things, like my IT classes and a lot of other things that is not about this podcast, which is a self-published author's diary. So I won't get into it, but I guess it's a reminder to everybody out there listening to be gentle with yourselves. I'll try to remember it. I hope you will too. And if you're one of my newsletter subscriber who is listening to this podcast, I want to say again, thank you so much. That entire Goodreads thing is really about me trying to find ways to better communicate. And I know my emails are already pretty long. So yeah. So to anybody also listening, if you want to support me and you like rom-coms, don't hesitate, and you're on Goodreads, don't hesitate to add my book on Goodreads. If you're not on Goodreads, no need to go and sign up for Goodreads. You can also just pre-order Sweets for Love for only 99 cents right now. And if you're on TikTok, you can go find me at Elodie Novodatsky, where I talk about my books, about writing, about reading. And again, Novodatsky is Nowodzkij. I'm going to go back on my schedule. I'm going to set my plans and what I'm going to do and my systems. I'll go back to that from last week, what I was talking about systems, which again, I think came from El Penelope. So I will add that podcast episode again in the show's description. But I'll think about my systems and how I can make sure that the systems I have in place also allow for that time for me to breathe in, breathe out, be gentle with myself, and then keep working. 'Cause I love what I do and I want to keep going. Oh, and next week I will talk about draft digital acquiring Smashwords a bit in detail. I wanted to this week, but as you can tell, I got sidetracked by my entire mood, let's put it that way, and me analyzing pretty much live why I didn't write as much as I wanted to last week. So, yep, next week, draft digital acquire Smashwords. Again, thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed this podcast, don't hesitate to subscribe, rate, review, share with a friend. If you want to support me, you can, as mentioned, pre-order my book. My latest one, Sweets for Love, is up for pre-order for only 99 cents in English. Otherwise, you can also buy me a coffee. You can support this podcast monthly. And if you have any ideas about fundraising for the University of Maryland Cancer Center, please do let me know. I will definitely keep you updated once I have a plan on that side. Again, thank you to every writer out there. Happy writing. And to everybody, happy reading.